What's good, people? It's Chief First. If you ever have a property that needs work or updating, please think of Chief First. That's me. And we'll go from there. Hopefully help you get that thing sold. So I just wanted to get into something really quickly. Last video, I did something on pocket listings or listings that have not yet hit the MLS, and how investors are reaching out to agents from time to time and being told that it is illegal for the agent to provide any information about properties that have not yet hit the MLS. And we dived into that. We called the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. I am doing business in North Carolina, so this video is about North Carolina, if you wanted to know. But we are talking about, today we're going to be talking about due diligence in North Carolina rather than pocket listings. So we found out that pocket listings were not illegal. But we're going to find out today about due diligence, because last time I called the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, and today I'm going to let you hear the audio from another conversation that I had with the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, but this time on due diligence. A lot of people are reaching out to agents to try and make offers, and they're being told that if you don't give due diligence with your offer, we're not going to even present it to the seller, or something to that degree, or no, all offers must require a due diligence. Now, if a realtor and their client, the seller, have had a discussion about this, I guess the seller could say that, but my guess is that realtors are putting these ideas into the heads of the seller. The market is crazy. Everybody knows that, but this is something that seems to be something that's going on a lot in North Carolina and not so much in other states. As I speak to my other peers who are doing these sorts of deals in other states, they're not hearing this kind of thing as much as we hear it in North Carolina. So anybody who's making offers in North Carolina has probably heard about due diligence, whether you're a retail buyer or whether you're an investor or whatever the case may be. You're going to hear this talk about adding due diligence to your offer, and you have to make the choice as to whether you're going to do that. Hopefully this video will help you to make that decision. Hopefully it'll also open people's eyes as to what's required and what isn't required, and hopefully some agents will see it as well, and they'll think about how they word it to buyers who are presenting offers. So let's get into it real quick.
Hello, this is Tree.
Hi, this is from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, returning your call.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I was calling because I was trying to find out a little bit about due diligence as it relates to realtors. We've had some experiences. I've been talking to other people, some friends of mine, and they've had similar experiences where realtors are telling them that they must include due diligence with the offers.
Well, I mean, they must not. It's negotiable between the parties. There's no requirement that there be a due diligence fee. However, the market right now, it helps a buyer compete, but there's nothing that says a buyer has to pay a due diligence fee.
Right. So I should still be able to send that offer to that agent so that
a listing agent has to submit any and all offers to their seller client. So if you send them an offer, they have to present it to their client.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, in this, I've also been talking to people, outside of North Carolina who say, "Oh, that's not a big thing where I am," even though the market is still red hot where they are as well. Why is it that due diligence is such a big deal in North Carolina?
That's what NC Realtors, they are a different entity from us. They create the forms and the concepts that are in those forms, along with the Bar Association in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And that was something that they decided to do about 10 years ago.
Gotcha. Gotcha. But I feel like it really kind of kicked off after COVID came.
It became more risky for the buyers after COVID came.
Gotcha.
So, due diligence fees used to be sort of in line with the amount of time and how much it would cost a seller to take it off the market while a buyer came in and did their inspection. So if you got a $1,000 mortgage and you wanted to take it off the market for a month, then you would give them $1,000 in due diligence to compensate them for that time off the market and to have the utilities on and everything else. It shouldn't be, I'm buying you off to accept my offer. It should be, I'm giving you compensation enough to cover my, allowing me to come in and do what I need to do to make my determination.
Right. And that makes sense on an ethical level. I was just kind of wondering how ethical it is. People are putting down $80,000 due diligence. And then, that basically, even if somebody is offering more money, someone may go for that $80,000 because it's enticing. It's right there.
Well, exactly. Which that's part of what the brokers get involved and encourage that, and I personally try to discourage them from using that as their point of leverage because it does create a big risk. But I mean, their job is to educate the buyers as to what a due diligence fee is for, when it's refundable, when it is not refundable, and make sure that their buyer's fully informed before they write a check.
Right. On the legal side, are there any? Have there been any talks of capping it at the monthly mortgage rate or something like that?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so everybody's happy with it.
Well, I would not say that. But they haven't talked about capping it because it's a term that's negotiable.
Right. Right.
So.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, a buyer doesn't have to use the standard forms, even if they're using a broker. They can go to an attorney and have an offer to purchase written up. It has whatever terms they wish to offer. You could write an offer to purchase on a paper towel and hand it to your broker and say, give this to the other agent, and they would have to do that. So, nice. The only thing is that NC Realtors and the Bar Association came together and created standard forms for their members to use. So if the broker that you're working with is a member of the North Carolina Association of Realtors, which they're not required to do, but most of them are because that gives them access to the multiple listing system and all the listings and all of that. Right. If they're members, they have access to those forms. And since we have so many that are members, then, those are commonly used standard NC Realtor and Bar Association issued forms. If a buyer comes up and says, I wish to use a different form to do my offer, then a buyer has every right to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So ultimately, I can have my attorney draw up my own contracts and just submit that way.
And if, yep. Yes,
you can. All right. Well, I do appreciate your time.
Okay, you're welcome. Was it helpful?
Very much so. So
okay,
thank you.
Wonderful. All right, thank you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Bye.
All right, so you heard it here. The things are that some people are saying, I think that a lot of times this is coming from a place of not knowing. There are people out here, agents probably, who just don't know what the actual law is. Just because a brokerage says that we're going to make sure that our sellers are getting due diligence in this crazy market. Just because a brokerage says it doesn't mean it makes it mandatory to do. As a buyer, you're making your offer. You can make it, just like she said, you can put it on a napkin and submit it, and the agent is supposed to bring that to the seller. So there's no you can submit whatever you want, however you want. Basically, they have to present that to the seller. That's the law, apparently. So if you're being told something different, it's probably just, give the agent or the realtor the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they just don't know. But now, if they're watching it, you can point them to this video, because North Carolina Real Estate Commission says that it's absolutely not mandatory to have due diligence when you are presenting an offer. So I hope that helps. Again, remember, chief first. If you have your properties that you need to sell, you have something that needs a lot of work, something that is in need of a bunch of updates, something that's just nasty, a property that just you wouldn't think that to want to list on the MLS if you're a realtor, or you just happen to have family or friends who are looking to sell properties. Always think chief first. All right. I appreciate you all. Hopefully this helps you. Look forward to talking to you again.